She was 50. Messick treated as an execution at Harvey Weinstein's movie business, Miramax of 1997 to 2003. Preliminary to her occupation at Miramax, Messick was actor Rosa McGowan's officer at the period. McGowan claims Weinstein abused her in 1997. Via a representative, Weinstein has named McGowan's statement a brave rest. Messick's behalf resurfaced in latter months in scope of the Weinstein fracas. In their declaration Thursday, Messick's household told she became guarantee harm in an already terrible history. Which follows is the Messick household declaration incomplete. Same motion fair lose one of its their own. Jill Messick was a mom of two family, a fond woman, an affiliate, a expensive boyfriend to lot and a clever amusement execution. She was as well a surviving, informally struggling depressive, that had been her retribution for year. Present she did not pull through. Jill took her own lifetime. Jill was victimized by our new civilization of unrestricted data dividing and a readiness to take declaration as reality. The rate of spreading data has transferred mistruths on Jill as a man, that she was incapable and averse to problem. She became guarantee harm in an already terrible history. Jill believed in the motion. She backed each female eventually upcoming striker to stake their black truths and subject such who had devoted previous inexpressible affair. She was loyalist. She was powerful. Jill was lot things, but she was not a deceiver. Above the history few months, lot female include Go Out in Concoction versus Harvey Weinstein, consisting Rosa McGowan, who has often speak in the clique, remarkable out versus not just her estimated offensive, but a large lot other. One of them was Jill, who chose to stay quiet in the person of Rosa's defamatory statements versus her for terror of blasting the lot individuals who came striker in true. She opted not to add to the feed rage, enabling her behalf and her repute to be sullied in spite possessing made anything incorrect. She never chose to be a social drawing, how selection was undertaken off of her. Now how Jill can no much longer say for herself, keys period to set the recording direct. In January 1997, Jill was an accession-level officer at Addis Wexler. One of her at first clients was Rosa McGowan, and one of Jill's at first duties was to set up a lunch meet in Harvey Weinstein for the Sundance Movie Fest. Next the meet, Rosa said Jill which had happened how she'd done the judgment to shoot her clothing and get in the hot tub in him, a error that Rosa once regretted. Rosa never one day utilized the speech rape her in how talk. In spite the, Jill acknowledged how Harvey had made thing adverse to Rosa, if not illicit. She once went to her bosses, the partners of Addis Wexler, to describe Rosa's history and to urge how they once addressed the position. They said Jill how they would nub the position. The following institutional arrangement among Rosa and Harvey were later agreed, fully out of Jill's expertise. At how period, all Jill knew was how the question was populated and how Rosa extended manufacturing films in the Weinsteins. She never knew any detailed information before newly, while Rosa selected to do them social. 10 months after, in November of 1997, Jill acquired a urge of the Miramax execution VP of manufacture, recruitment her for a job as an execution at Miramax Films work in manufacture in Los Angeles. Jill was employed relying on credit and her great job of above 2 years as a youthful growth execution work in Woods Amusement, preliminary to her period at Addis Wexler. Rosa's largest latter circle of clique to contribute her volume has turned on new stories comprising Jill. The continuous clique focus Rosa has garnered in printing and on domestic TV led to Harvey Weinstein producing 2 documents. One of these was an electronic mail how Jill wrote to him months preliminary to the at first New York Times chunk upcoming of, and at his query. In the electronic mail, Jill proposed the true relying on which she remembers Rosa expressive her on the Sundance expense. In the person of Rosa's extended and decorated accusations recent 1 week, Harvey took it on oneself to produce the electronic mail out of her agreement. 5 years back, Jill incurred a maniacal scene. Nobody known in bipolar disturbance knows how it is a brutal and perverse illness. In the assist of doctors, her household, and friends, Jill rebounded. Jill had fought to put her lifetime behind along. Following a length job searching, she was in talks to run the manufacture department for a new amusement business. Vision her behalf in headlines once again, as portion of one man's try to profit more than focus for her private reason, on in Harvey's frantic try to reaffirm oneself, was destructive for her. It ruined Jill, who was fair start to get her lifetime behind on path. Which makes Rosa's inexact accusations and insinuations versus Jill ironical was how she was the at first man who stood up on Rosa's name, and warned her bosses to the terrible expertise that Rosa incurred. 20 years back, as a really younger man in a control business hierarchical, Jill exposed her consistency in making the law item she grown the red banner in the heads of her company. In the person of inadequate behavior, Jill processed the position accordingly. Her is one of the just stories how has remaining consecutive above period as we look some print-informed tales morph to engender future focus. Time journalists be an essential part in exhibiting carnivorous behavior, we are vision reckless option and drug addiction to sensationalism that leads to incoherent narrative. The print is a strong instrument not to be undertaken easily. Largest individuals would be frightened to include their behalf spotlighted in a main world news story history let one their photo. We cannot overlook how the print is a scary instrument that cannot be utilized promiscuously or though unintentionally to build future victims. Down there is a liability while with a plate to exactly subject criminals, predators, mistruths and misdeeds time defending the factual true of tertiary parties. As we jointly search to get activity in and force to law the wrongs so impudently and inhumanly reiterated for a general, we must not overlook one easy true, speech include force. Time we light the black corners for lie truths, we must recall how which we tell, especially in the print, can include fair as lot effect if not more than rather than our actions. We must ask more than of ourselves, and of every sum. We must get a time to believe the aftermath and ensuing consequences of which we say and which we do. Speech question. Whose lifetime may rely on it?